Willkommen zurück zu Tales of Arise. Ich bin euer FioreBo und jetzt haben wir eine halbe Stunde mehr Playtime. Wir müssen noch gegessen haben und so. Im Spiel geht einfach die Zeit weiter. Ich bin immer verlockt, hier unter zu gucken.
I still can't believe what that Almadria did. Not only that, but she was enjoying it.
It's patently clear she has no respect for human life whatsoever.
We need to take her out. I don't think I've ever felt so enraged at another person in my whole life.
Yeah! There's no way she's getting away with this!
Then we head for the underground docks. We need to hurry. Ringwell, can you keep moving?
Yeah. My family and I, we spent all of our days just living in hiding. Until one day when we were found and attacked. I was the only one my dad and the others hid. That's the reason I survived. While the rest of my family was butchered. The only thing that I could see was the crest of a lord glowing through the smoke. And then...
It was Almadria who did it. I'm sorry, Ringwell.
That woman. Did she really find the existence of Danon mages to be that much of a threat?
Enough to invade another lord's territory? No, I doubt that. Most likely, she was after their knowledge and techniques. She only did it so she could become stronger. That's the kind of woman she is.
In retrospect, I do remember her making it sound like she created that monster she summoned.
A monster. I wonder, do you all think of me as a monster? Because I'm able to use magic even though I'm Danon?
Ringwell.
Of course we don't think you're a monster, you dummy.
Huh?
I might have had to hold you back, but it's her fault any of this ever happened, not yours. Got it?
Law.
Okay. Ja. Dann... Niets, dann zur verborgenen Werft gehen, okay. Mal ich direkt machen, oder? Zack. Aber hier schön vorgearbeitet, sage ich mal, ne? Deswegen.
We've reached our destination.
Wir wollen gerne noch eine Waffe schmieden. Denn dich... Ne, ich kann mal machen. Dann kriegst du das Ding. Zack. So. Du gehst leider leer aus. Du gehst leider leer aus. Und du gehst... Nicht leer aus, oder das schon. Mal so. Komm, gut. Das auch nochmal eben schnell hier. Dann haben wir das nämlich auch soweit. Quatsch. Jetzt machen wir das kommen soll. Ah, den darf ich nicht machen. Oh. Ah, den darf ich machen. So, dich hier. Und dich hier. Und den drehe ich auch noch mehr herstellen. Ne? Hätte ich 2 davon. Geil. Ja, nur Zahn, okay. Das ist schon für viel. Stehen? Ich weiß nicht mehr. Kann sein. Tüt. Ausgerüstet. Objekte kaufen. Oh. Auf jeden Fall. Genannter Objekt wurde erworben und gestern damit ausgerüstet. Schön, dass es jedes Mal da steht. Also Rüstung müsst ihr kaufen. Ja, warte. Sie wird doch nicht schwächer. Okay. Oder die stärker. Das ist hier die einzige, die wirklich gut versorgt wird. Hornhof. Zack. Okay. Machen wir nochmal eine Runde Pferde, würde ich sagen. Zack, zack. Sehr schön. So, dann sind wir
Have you guys
durch.
checked your equipment lately?
Ja, ich bin dabei. So. Hier ist auch soweit alles gut. Was? Feuerwerkschlichter. Du hast was Neues bekommen, du hast was Neues bekommen. Ja, da merkt man, da fühlt sich das Spiel aber so ein bisschen wegen der Ausrüstung, als wären nur Shion und Alphen wichtig. Der Rest wäre einfach so das Beiwerk, sage ich mal. Aber können ja auch interessante Charaktere werden, glaube ich. Bin ich fest dran. Wo war ich jetzt nochmal dran? Da, ne, ja. Okay, brauchen wir ein paar Punkte auf jeden Fall. Dann gehen wir mal. Bin ich hier richtig? Na, hier laufe ich zurück. Wir können uns aber nochmal ausruhen, doch, stimmt. Das machen wir. Mal schön unser Essen auffüllen. Ja.
I hope we manage to catch Almeidria soon.
I hope so too, before she can cause any more havoc.
You okay, Rinwell?
Oh, yeah.
Don't push yourself too hard now, okay?
Okay. Thanks. Oh, Hoodle. I don't know what to do.
Ich weiß nicht, was ich mit machen soll. Ah, komm, jetzt noch was.
Hey, Rinwell. What was that whole legend you were talking about earlier, back when we were by the gate?
Huh? Oh, you mean about the Darkwings? It's an old story
Darkwing
about a
Duck?
demon
Like I
Okay.
said,
Yeah.
Well, however, the
Yeah.
story from what
I guess our
you know,
Come on.
Come on. Die Story haben wir nicht entdeckt, also haben wir uns das nicht an. So. Punkt. Boom. Gut. Und wir haben eine neue Zwischensequenz, ne? So, dann rasten wir. Jawohl, wir wollen es kochen. Rindereintopf. Haben wir den schon gekocht? Ich hätte gerne immer noch eine Markierung, wo ich sehen kann, was ich gemacht habe. Erde-Sashimi. Okay. Was ist sein Effekt? Erstmal, der Lord kann kochen. Zweitens, wird die Wirkung um 30%. Sobald die übrigen... Wird die übrige Wirkdauer... Ja. Weniger als die Hälfte beträgt das. Also bei... Ja, will ich auch trotzdem lieber mit ihm das machen, weil dann habe ich 25% weniger Zeit. Ja, aber dafür habe ich 50% mehr Wirkung auf ganze Zeit. Anstatt bei ihm, dass er die Wirkdauer um die Hälfte Zeit um 3% erhöht wird. Habe ich schon lieber ein permanenter Buff, dafür ein bisschen kürzer, oder? Oh, mit Lore.
hey, that actually came out pretty alright, don't you think? All done. Come and get it.
Oh,
Ich habe
did
gleich
you fix horse
angeguckt.
sashimi again?
You really like that stuff.
Der
don't
ist schon
you,
wieder?
Law?
Hast du noch nie
What can
gemacht,
I
oder?
say? It's easy to prepare however
Ich
you
habe gar nicht
like.
geguckt, was das für einen Effekt
What
hat.
makes it so easy to prepare?
It's all about the onion. You can change how you arrange it next to the meat, use less of it, or even take it out altogether.
It sounds as though you simply dislike onions.
I don't dislike onions. All I'm saying is the flavor of the meat changes depending on what you do with the onion.
While that's true, somehow I get the feeling you just don't want to admit you're a picky eater.
I agree. Here, you can have all my onions. Maybe you'll discover some new flavor for this dish you've never had.
Just don't. That's. Rinwell, stop.
Well then, how does it taste?
All I taste is onions.
Armer Lore. Na gut, dann müssen wir dann auch mit Lore, oder? Kann er über seine Onions heulen.
Mind if I join you, Law?
Oh, hey, Alphen. What's up?
Nothing. I was just surprised to see you weren't training for once. Got a stomachache or something?
You know I don't literally train around the clock, right? I do take breaks.
Do you? It seems like you're training every chance you get.
Well, yeah, it can't be helped if I want to get stronger. Still, it's important to let your muscles rest every now and then. That's what my dad told me anyway.
Zephyr said that?
When I was a little kid, yeah. I would get so excited whenever he came home. I always followed him wherever he went and tried to learn as much from him as I could. He said, it's good to be passionate, but don't overdo it. Just like there are times when you want to take a break from studying, sometimes your body wants to take a break from training, too. I was always rushing around and forgetting to rest, so he ended up telling me that a lot.
That definitely sounds like him.
It's nothing to get sad over. Still, I can't help but wonder if that was my dad's way of teaching me the dangers of rushing into things too quickly. Then again, maybe I'm just overthinking things. I wish I'd had more time to talk to him about this kind of stuff. Night.
Good night. Gut. So, sind wir jetzt gestärkt.
I feel pretty refreshed after that sleep.
Oh, der Wind hört cool, hört sich gut an. Der Wind hört sich richtig, richtig gut an, finde ich. Gut, dann ab in die Werft. So, dann hauen wir den mal auf den Maul, ne?
A dead end?
No, there's an elevator. Looks operational.
Oh, jetzt funktioniert er plötzlich. Okay. Interessant. Oh, okay, sieht strange aus. Ist hier nicht? Okay.
I can't believe there's actually an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see Danans. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almadria.
Schon merkwürdig. Oder? Oder tarnen die sich einfach nur? Vielleicht. Wirklich komisch, dass Leute hier hindurchgekommen sind, um uns vor Bescheid zu geben. Sie ist auch mit einem neuen Trupp aufgebrochen. Ich frage mich, was sie da sind. Ah, sie ist aufgebrochen. Okay, wir müssen sie hinterherjagen. Scheinbar, okay. Scheint ein Bergungsschiff zu sein, wenn wir dort. Irgendwie cool. Oh, so. Genau, wie was versteckt vielleicht. Ne. Da müssen wir hin, das weiß ich ja. Oh, hier ist noch was. Mal ein bisschen Makrelen. Lecker. Den Fisch in uns.
You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn! So we missed her!
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be. Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there! You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me, or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
We're losing time. Sir, we're in your debt.
Now that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're all set and we'll set sail.
Ich würde sagen direkt, oder? Komm. Segel setzen.
This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Danans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Till then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
I know
Was?
Mom
Meine
said
Gruppe hat sich aufgelöst. Oh.
there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat.
So.
I guess I'll check in on everyone and see how they're holding up.
Okay. Dann reden wir mit Leon. Natürlich ganz weit vorne steht. Hier wollte ich gar nicht reden.
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almadria, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cislodius Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadime. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almadria. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
But what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, and I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almadria when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Shion mad. I don't know, though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Shion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
Aufgefragt, woher weiß sie da, wie es ist? Sie hält ja mit niemandem Händchen. Ja. Gut, mit Chian will ich quatschen.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almadria's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cyslodia. The lush green glades of Menancia. The harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually managed to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere, too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Shion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can... Shion?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Na, ihr wollt aber beide ein bisschen mehr, glaube ich, als nur Freunde sein. Ja, ja, ja. Du sollst vermutlich mal... Muss ich mal nachsehen, wie es allen anderen... Du sollst vermutlich mal nachsehen, wie es allen anderen gerade geht. Okay. War ich ja dabei. So, die beiden haben wir. Sie musste gar nicht sprechen. Okay.
You don't look so good. Are you all right?
Ah, sie ist sehr
The
krank.
floor. It keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almeidrea were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim.
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almeidrea did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Megal, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Bitte lass mich in Ruhe kotzen. Okay, dann lass mich mal in Ruhe kotzen. Was mit dir?
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But but still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almadria, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Oh. Ach ja, dann noch ich.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almadria?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegus.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegus. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almadria did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almadria do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almadria resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
Wonder...
Ich bin nicht blind optimistisch, wenn es nicht ein hinreichend Anzeichen gäbe.
How much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almadria? I'll ask Mahavar.
Gut, dann würde ich sagen, so, und wir quatschen noch. Okay. Warum? Was will ich mit ihr nochmal reden? Alle anderen haben nur einen Dialog gehabt. Komisch. Gut, ich würde sagen, wir sehen uns nächsten Folge wieder. Dann geht's hier weiter. Also, haut rein. Ciao, ciao.